Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, I'm back with playing Clue on Tabletop Simulator, but with a twist, and that is we're going to be doing some story reading. And in today's story, I am going to read the Who Killed Mr. Body story of Happy Birthday, Mr. Green. But before we get started, I want you guys and girls to leave a like and subscribe to the Miss Sensational Gaming channel and turn on these post notifications so you won't miss a single upload. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and read the story. Ah, sighed Mr. Green as he unwrapped Mrs. White's gift. Just what I need. A lead pipe. That's interesting. And may this present light up your life, said Mrs. Peacock. A gold candlestick, marveled Mr. Green, stunning. So we have the lead pipe and the candlestick. These are the two weapons. But are they the weapons that the murderer used? Or is there scratched off as weapons? Only one way to find out. Colonel Mustard pulled his gift from behind his back. I must tell you, he said, my present cost a little more than I wanted to spend. But I decided to bite the bullet, and a revolver! Mr. Green was delighted. I love the fact that he uses the pun, bite the bullet, and it reveals to be a revolver. It's quite obvious. This is from me, beamed Mr. Body. He handed over a lumpy package. I bet it's not what you think it is. Rope! Mr. Green chuckled merrily. Then he saw Miss Scarlet coming toward him with a shiny box wrapped with a giant pink bow. Mr. Green turned green instead of turning red. That's just, I don't have any words. But let me get back to this. Oh, Miss Scarlet, you're too kind. Not a fool, said Miss Scarlet with a wink. A wrench. Mr. Green was beside himself. Gee, this is the best birthday I've ever had. My thanks to all of you. Just then, the dining room swung open. In walked Mrs. White, the maid. She carried a large green cake covered with burning green candles. She was smiling sweetly. Mr. Body flipped off the lights. In the, how you pronounce this word, secrecy of darkness, Mrs. White's expression changed to a bitter sneer. The guests began to sing, Happy Birthday to Mr. Green. Make a wish, Miss Scarlet cooed in Mr. Green's ear. Technically, she said, make a wish. Mr. Green wished that Miss Scarlet would coo into his ear more often. Then he blew out his candles, and the room plunged into total darkness. Hey, what's going on here? Who turned out the lights? Cried a familiar voice. There was a crash, a yell, a scream. When the lights were turned on, a chair lay overturned on the floor. Splattered beside it lay Mr. Green's green cake. Standing next to the mess with cake on his hands was a bewildered Professor Plum. What's going on here? He demanded. Someone turned the lights off just as I was coming in. It's a birthday party. It's a birthday party. hissed Mr. Green, and you just ruined my cake. Oh my goodness. A birthday party? Well, not at question. Professor Plum slapped the side of his balding head, covering himself with green icing. So that's where I was supposed to be tonight. I completely forgot. He put his arm the furious Mr. Green, plastering Mr. Green's green suit with green icing. Listen, he whispered. Help me out here, would you? Whose birthday is it? It's mine, you donkey! Donkey! Gasped Mrs. Peacock. How rude! Oh, yes, 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 now I remember, said Plum. A birthday party for Mr. Green, yes. Ah, Professor, we've all given Mr. Green our gifts. Mr. Body said nervously, maybe now would be a good time for you to give him your gift. My present. Professor Plum frowned. He stared at his empty, icing-covered hands. He licked a finger. Yes, my present is the knife. Now, where did I leave it? Oh, great, snapped Mr. Green. First you forget my birthday. Then you forget my present. What's next? I forget, said Plum. Then he made a funny face. Uh-oh, he said. What? Barked Green. I just remembered something else. Mr. Green waited. Finally, he yelled. What? I got you 2 presents, Plum said. Mr. Green, no, I'm sorry. I'm getting too interested of this story. All right, let's continue. Green's angry face turned into a smile. Nothing wrong with that. And the second present is a time bomb that's going to go off in about. Plum looked at his watch. Oh, I say 90 seconds. All the guests looked at one another blankly. Then they all screamed in illusion. Illusion? I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. A time bomb? Why would anyone do anything so stupid? Asked Mustard. I thought it would liven up the party. Plum said, believe me, I didn't plan on things working out this way. I was going to turn the thing off right after you open it. I mean, this way, the whole mansion is going to be blown to smithereens. All the guests grabbed Plum. Think, what room did you leave the bomb in? They all asked at once. Please, said Plum. Not all at once. It makes it too hard to understand what you're saying. But we're all saying the same thing, they all said at once. Now, what room did you leave it in? I don't know, Professor Plum said, worriedly wiping green icing through his hair. All I know is that I came in here empty-handed. 60 seconds left, announced Mr. Body, looking at his watch. Uh-oh, this is getting intense. Okay, we got a few chapters to go. Let me drink my water. Ugh, excuse me. Okay, here we go. I'll check the library, cried Mustard, rushing out. I'll check the ballroom, called Mrs. White, and she ran out as well. Think, Think back, Professor, urged Mrs. Peacock. Try to retrace your steps. Retrace my steps? Okay, but why? Professor Plum began walking backward. No, no, not like that, cried Miss Scarlet. Look out! Shrieked Mrs. Peacock. Plum was walking backward out the doorway. By sheer luck, he managed to miss Miss Botty's priceless Ming vase. But he knocked a picture off the wall. The picture crashed into the vase. Don't worry about that now, yelled Botty. There are only 50 seconds left. They all raced to the lounge. Now call Mrs. Peacock as they ran. Now call Mrs. Peacock as they ran. Where did you wrap the gift? In the billiard room, answered the professor. 40 seconds, yelled Mr. Botty from the rear. And what did you do next? Asked Mrs. White. When they were in the lounge, Professor Plum scratched his head. I started thinking about my latest research project, the sleeping habits of snails, and I went for a stroll. 30 seconds. And where did you go on this stroll of yours? Asked Miss Scarlet. I remember I went into the conservatory and then to the lounge. And then, prouded Mrs. Peacock, and then I went to the library, and then to the hall, then to the ballroom, and finally to the party in the dining room. 20 seconds, Mr. Botty said. Mr. Botty, said Professor Plum, I don't want to be rude, but what is this crazy obsession you've developed about time? The bomb, gasped Botty. The bomb? Oh, yes, said Plum, thoughtfully. Then they all started running again. They rushed into the ballroom. Mrs. White was already there. No bomb, she said. I've gone through this room with a fine-toothed comb. 10 seconds, called Botty. Wait, exclaimed the professor. I remember having the gift in the library. I already searched the library, Colonel Mustard shouted as he rushed into the room. It's not there. 5, said Botty. 4, 3. Professor Plum sat down at the grand piano. If only I could remember, he said, clutching his head with both hands. Wait, cried Mrs. Peacock. I just figured out. It doesn't say it. Okay. I just figured out where the professor left the knife and the bomb. So this leads to a question. Where are the knife and the bomb? In the billiard room, the conservatory, the lounge, the library, the hall, the ballroom, or the dining room? So that is the question of the day, ladies and gentlemen. So what we have here right now is that I think we now know for sure that even though it's not guaranteed, oh dear, I gotta pick these tokens up. I'm trying to pick it up so I can mark these up. But I will do that once I set up this game. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to stop recording to set the game up, and then we're going to find out who did it. Or technically what happened to the knife and the bomb itself. All right, so I set the cards up, and I also set 3 cards in this this note here, this envelope here. It's not inside, but once I remove it by clicking and dragging, it's going to be very, very interesting. Okay, so first off, what we need to do is to mark everything at this time. So we definitely know for sure that Professor Plum is the one who has the knife because it was planning to be a gift from Mr. Green. However, we don't know exactly which room did Mr. Green left the knife and the bomb itself. So it is now time to determine to roll the dice. And well, I'm going to do something a little bit different. Uh, which what I'm going to do right now is first I am going to technically take these weapons in these weapon pieces in case if I landed something, all that. And I am going to technically use these X tokens so that it can be confirmed that neither these suspects have the knife in whatever room it could be. And we all know that these weapons are already given to Mr. Green by many other suspects. So now Professor Plum is like the only suspect that hasn't gotten him a gift. And right now we have 12 cards laying in the side. And what I do is that I will reveal it if I made an investigation. So right now let's go ahead and roll the dice because I'll be playing as Mrs. White. And I'm going to press R since it's the new way to like, see, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's see, gotta make sure, yep, it's 8. I have to move 8 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm almost there. I'm almost headed to the kitchen. And I gotta pick the knife up. So that's 2 spaces. 2 spaces, okay. 1, 2. I'm almost at the kitchen. So let's roll again. And I end up getting a 3. Okay. So 1, 2, and 3. And what I do here is I pick up this weapon as evidence. And I'm going to say that it was definitely Professor Plum with the knife in probably in the kitchen, I assume. So I'm going to flip these cards. And of course, there's the kitchen. So we know that the kitchen is not one of the... So the kitchen is not the room where Professor Plum had the knife and the device itself. So let's see. Oh, I get to go to the secret passage. And I think it will lead me to the study. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So let's go ahead and... So what I'm going to do right now, instead of rolling the dice, whenever I landed on a room that has a secret passage, I am going to automatically use this just like that. And then she goes all the way from the kitchen to the study. And then I'm going to say that Professor Plum is in the study with the knife. So we flip these cards over until we reveal something. And didn't mean to reveal these two, but we do know that the study is not one of the rooms. So we're going to mark that down or put an X on the study. Okay, so I think for right now we're going to check the halls. We're going to check the halls. and it's a 5. So it goes 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the wrench is in the hole. And I'm going to say that it was Professor Plum in the hole with the knife. So let's reveal. And apparently there is no hole in one of these cards here. And there's none in my hand. So that means that I am going to make an accusation. I'm going to say Professor Plum is the one who has the bomb and the knife in the hall. So let's go ahead and reveal this envelope to see if I'm right. So right out of the bat, we have Professor Plum. Then we have the knife. And lastly, we have the hall. So it has been confirmed that Professor Plum has the knife in the hall. Now the question is that the solution to this mystery? Let's find out. And apparently it is. Professor Plum in the hall with the knife and the bomb. Professor Plum wrapped the gift in the billiard room. He then walked to the conservatory, the lounge, the library, the hall, the ballroom, and the dining room. Plum remembered still having the gift with him in the library. So we can rule out the rooms he was in before. The library and let me start over. The library, the billiard room, the conservatory, and the lounge. White and Mustard checked the ballroom and library, and Plum came into the dining room empty-handed. That leaves only the hall. Luckily, he forgot to set the time bomb. So in other words, even though it was a stressful time for him because he set up the time, however, he forgot to set up the time exactly. So, in other words, the mansion didn't get destroyed. So everyone is all safe, but Professor Plum is in serious trouble, especially due to the fact that he forgot Mr. Green's birthday. He forgot his present, and now he forgot where he put it, which almost puts everyone else in danger and puts almost the mansion itself into a deep destruction. So, yeah, that's kind of bad. But anyways, that is our third case, and it has been solved. Thank you so much for watching. I don't know why I'm getting excited, but I'm enjoying this. If you enjoyed this kind of video, please leave a like and subscribe, turn on these notifications so you won't miss a single upload. And I'll see you all in the next Clue mystery story and the next video. But until then, stay safe and have a wonderful day.